the moment. I am just waiting for it to start up. Um, gotta um sorry, just checking a few stats and such. Alright. Hopefully it's working. I don't appear to be dropping any frames, which is good. Good. So yeah, this is my World of Warcraft account. Welcome back. Said I wouldn't be gone all that long. I got my second monitor working. Decided to play some WoW instead of continuing with D3 because frankly it's I'm gonna be gone for a while. I need to do some stuff on WoW and I haven't yet today. So yeah, and this is my main Bleeding Hollow. Got a few tunes. This is my main. Good old tub of heals. Some basic stuff. So, getting into it. I've been playing for many years at this point. Like 5, 6 years, something in there. I think about 5 years since I started really playing. Because I played for a little while and took a break, then came back. Played originally as Alliance, didn't get very far. Didn't really have the money to keep up with a subscription at the time, or time really to keep up with a subscription anyway. And then I decided, then I found the money. A cat is being really annoying. Go away. Sorry. So, anyway. So, came back, swapped over to Horde. Never looked back in that regard. Horde is master race, because that makes sense. Swapped over to Horde. I originally was playing on Thaurissan, an Oceanic server. Blizzard recently put the Oceanic servers actually in Australia, just outside Sydney, I believe, which made my lag go much higher than it used to be. It was about at the time it was probably about 40 milliseconds, and then it spiked up to they moved the servers, and all of a sudden I was getting closer to 300, similar to what you see right down here, because after transferring back, I transferred this tune and Whoopin' Time, my monk, back
the dark
to
times will pass.
Back to Bleeding Hollow, a US server, and for some reason, my garrison didn't come with me. So I still have very high lag in my garrison, but it doesn't affect me outside of my garrison, which is very good. It'd be kind of terrible if it did. And so it's really not a big deal. Frame rate's quite low, because kind of to be expected. I'm running on a shitty vid card because my vid card that I bought doesn't work. It's faulty, and I'm still getting it replaced. But in the meantime, I'm just running off of the motherboard's internal processing, onboard video, which is pretty terrible. It's just like an Intel 4000 or something like that. It's not very good at all, but it's enough to at least support the two monitors and do some low resolution. All my settings are low, except for view distance. View distance is always ultra. Um, View distance is ultra. Directed textures is on. Other than that, I don't really care. I have sound mostly off, so you're not going to get any of my awesome music, unfortunately. Actually, I'm going to turn music on, because I'm not going to be doing anything that matters. Too bad. I'm not going to be listening to any other music either. I'm not going to be raiding, so I always turn music off when I'm raiding, so I can hear vent. Speaking of which, I can't even hear this because my volume was turned way down. Oh no! This isn't the guy with the excellent music. Damn. I have Karazhan music on my Hunter because I got it before I transfer servers. So let's get some different music going on at the moment. Anyway, so this is my setup. I use relatively recently, about 6 months or so now. I've been using LVUI, which is what you see all down here, as well as the it's a full UI replacement. So I've got my target, myself, my bodyguard, which I often make into a focus. I'm currently using helium for my healing. My priest that I'm on right now is mainly a healer. Yeah, I have focus up there next to my bodyguard. Right now I'm disc shadow because of all the Tanam dailies that I gotta do. I used to be disc holy before this patch came out because I like healing. It's what I've always been. My hunter has been my main until Draenor, frankly. At which point I swapped, but I never really rated much on my hunter. He was always just for solo stuff, solo leveling, and all that. He was my first to the level cap at, with every expansion. He was the guy I go out and do solo stuff on, mount farming, pet farming, etc. This guy being my raider, I needed to be able to do Tanan, so he is now Disc Holy, or Disc Shadow from Disc Holy. Also, Holy just, in Draenor especially, I feel just Holy has not been particularly strong, and Disc, because it's mostly absorbs, is always going to be strong, because any healing reduction effects almost never apply to absorbs. So, if it's a 90% healing reduction, 100,000 point heal will only heal for 10,000, but a 100,000 point shield will still sit on the person for 100,000. So, that's just always going to be strong, and the fact that absorbs come before health loss, obviously, means that you very rarely have to deal with overhealing. I was like, oh crap, I have to, you're not competing with your other healers as much, you're just simply augmenting their heals. For example, I heal with my brother a lot in the raid, and he's a druid, so I can, if someone's damaged, I can put a shield on them. If they're at 75% health, I can put a shield on them and know that his healing over time effects that druids do really, really well will most likely get that person up to 100 unless they take a whole lot more damage, in which case, one, I'm usually expecting it to, if it's on a tank or if it's on someone with a particular mechanic on them. But otherwise the shield will absorb any incoming damage, and in the process he's healing them up without either of us having to use many resources at all to do that healing. It also works well with the shaman that we have as our third healer for a raid, because shaman mastery is more healing based on missing health. So if I shield a low health person as he's healing them, they don't die, before his heal goes off, and I don't reduce, my shield doesn't reduce the effect of his healing or cause him to overheal with his heal. So, disc is just always strong. Anyway, so that's... Oh, and Skada for damage and healing meters. I use Skada mainly because I like to keep track of healing during a fight. Especially for non, outside of our raid. So many Gorin protectors. Outside of the raid itself, like, healing isn't a big deal. It's just something I like numbers. I like meters. I know they don't matter much, but I still like to see them because every so often they get to be ridiculous. They get to be very silly. But also, it's just one of those things where I'd like to know how much healing I'm getting for the effort I'm putting in. Watching it during the fight allows me to keep an eye on my fluid healing, as opposed to only being able to see it at the end and not being able to see like when my major spikes. Where obviously, a couple our raid leaders put up logs that I often, always frankly, look at to see damage spikes, healing spikes, mana loss and gain, and etc. Just everything in general. Damage taken spikes that don't, where maybe screwed up a mechanic, maybe it's just something I gotta watch out for better. I know for a Blackhand kill in particular, it really helped me out. But it's just something I like to keep an eye on. For LFR, I find it particularly handy because I can keep track of whether or not people are AFK. LFR being looking for raid, which is the raid finder, not the pre-mades. Yeah, this is looking for raid, which I haven't done this week. I should, especially since I'm going to be away. I'll probably do that tomorrow and not on stream, so you won't get to see me in being lazy. Besides, if I was going to do that, I'd probably want to do it on stream. I'd probably want to do it on my monk, just so it's not clutter. Because that's helium can get quite cluttery during sec. Create new window. Yes, no. Okay. Sorry, just getting some things set up for welcome to streaming. What's that? Okay. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, this is LVY, in case you're curious. It does end up getting kind of complicated, but all you gotta do is do it once. Do a basic setup once, like this basic setup, especially down here with my abilities, are what I, have saved as an existing profile. I haven't set up my dual profile yet. I really should. There's some things I want to tweak, but I don't play Shadow other than solo duo work questing for Tanan. Like I don't do Shadow and Raid at all, so it doesn't really matter to me too much to get this done. Mainly it's just some coloration changes I would do, as well as some, as well as the fact that I don't show. Well, I do now, so it doesn't really matter. But I used to not show raid frames, and I don't show raid frames for LFR just because they're too many. I don't have the space for both raid frames and my helium.